Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another interview series for Muslim Network TV. My name is Zahra Syed and I'll be your host for today. Joining us today, we have a very special guest, Br Nasser Deeb, who is the director of the Halal Expo Canada. Br Nasser is a regular guest on MNTV who is currently traveling in Manila for some very exciting work. Br Nasser, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for also hosting me again. I'm a big fan of Muslim Network TV and Brother Taha, you and the rest of the team. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be back again.
Excellent. So, Br Nasser, tell me, how are you? How is your travel coming along? I would love to hear about some of the very exciting work that you're doing.
It's been a lot of hustle work. It's been so much traveling. We just came back from Gulf Food, then came back to Toronto for a few meetings, and then had to go back to Philippines as we're working in two ways. One is to organize the first pavilion of Philippine Halal, and the second part is we just launched in January, announced the first Halal Expo Philippines, part of the Halal Expo Canada brand, to be the first debut event in Philippines that is B2B, produced by or brand that's already Canadian, born Canadian brand, and we because of the fact that Philippines is now moving into promoting halal over because of their population of Muslim like exceed more than 15 million Muslims, and we're taking advantage of that. We're making sure that we support the community there by bringing our expertise in halal expos and bringing it to the Philippines, and that's why I'm here. So it's two reasons. The first is to work on the preparation for Halal Expo Philippines, which will be in this year in November 14 to 16, and Halal Expo Canada to bring in Philippines companies to May 8 and 9. They're going to be the first Filipino pavilion of halal.
Mashallah, that sounds very exciting and sounds like a blast. It's great to see a Canadian brand expanding so well and internationally. That's huge, mashallah. So congratulations. So we'll begin by delving into the world of halal products, halal services, and trends. Can you tell us a little bit about the Halal Expo Canada and its significance in the halal industry?
Well, as everybody knows, that Halal Expo Canada started as first edition in 2019 as the first debut event, and we were a bit skeptical about the fact that we can either grow or shut down the idea, but we know back in our minds that it needed to be here because the halal industry in Canada has been growing massively in the last 10 years, I say, and there was a need for a B2B platform to foster that growth, and that's where we did it the first time. People were not used to having a B2B Halal Expo in North America, so we were the first B2B show in North America, and so far, after going on the fourth edition, we've proven to the market that it's the ideal platform to connect and to grow products and grow markets in such amazing organized market like in Canada or North America in general. So it's been very good start, and now we are moving into our fourth edition, and we're looking to grow further and further and further. It is needed and it's important event and a platform that needs to be supported and needs to be fostered until it reaches its best level.
I agree. I think that's very critical to ensure that we can highlight some of that, especially within Canada, where the Muslim majority is there. It's so diverse. So, in your perspective, what are some of the key highlights or some of the key themes that attendees can expect to see at this year's expo?
As every year, we try to bring something new, not only to the show, but to our exhibitors and our attendees alike, because we want to make sure that we diverse our offerings. We try to offer things that are unique to the audience, and every year we try to be more innovative by adding more conference rich content, bringing new sessions, new ideas, new speakers. Also, the cooking demo that we started last year, now we're moving into having multiple cuisine chef that to cook in a halal way. So last year we had a brother from Singapore, a chef from Singapore, who did a great event, and sessions of cooking halal cuisines and using different spice and different ways. Now we are moving into different other cultures of halal. So we're trying to have a new mix, and we're adding new ideas as we go. We're bringing new companies in new countries participating. Like Philippines, for example, will be the first time Philippines to launch its first pavilion of halal, promoting halal friendly Philippines, first time in Canada, because as the government initiated the roadmap of halal, the Department of Trade in Philippines have initiated the idea, and now they're going into the task force is moving forward with a roadmap to shape the halal industry in Philippines. So that's one of the things. Also, we're adding new companies, new ideas, new events, new features. Our conference will be having a different kind of sessions. Not the ordering session. We're going to add new ideas, new areas of concern in the industry, the trends and challenges that face the industry. And also, we are maybe for you to know, there is going to be a special session on halal media and its challenges and how it copes in the mainstream media. And that's a growing trend. And like yourself, which is amazing uh, channel, there are more and more growth of these, and we need to foster these. We need to make sure they are on the right track, in the right way, to make sure that they do it right and do it as professional, as even better than other media channels. And that's there's so much to say, but you will see it. We will be announcing slowly as you go. You're going to be seeing our social media, our advertisement with media partners that we utilize our them to help us promote. So you will see. You will be happy to see the show.
Well, that's excellent. And like you said, it's very important to make sure that every year there's something unique that's up and coming. And it's important to highlight that as well, while keeping up with the demand and the trends that you're starting to see in the market. So now that, given your experience with traveling the world internationally and a lot of time, spent in Manila and in Philippines, in your perspective, how has the halal market evolved over the years? And what are some of the trends that you're starting to see, particularly in the halal industry?
The growth definitely has been outstanding, and I would think it's reached a number of more than uh, amazing number. It's like 1.3 trillion. Sorry, to almost $2 trillion industry. So that way you cannot even imagine how big is that industry becomes. There are many trends are changing. We no longer discuss only food in the halal. We discuss many areas like blockchain. We discuss services that service to the halal industry. We discuss everything that service that industry, the space of the halal. And halal is not just food; it's an ecosystem that consists of so many parameters and so many things that we use in our everyday life. And whether we do our banking or we do our finance or we do our investments or we do the way we dress, the way we go on vacation, it becomes more and more. You have many areas of halal, and as you know, the word halal is permissible. It didn't say permissible only for food, for anything that we are allowed to do and enjoy in this life, and in a good way, in a good blessing way. So that's what the Prophet peace be upon him he taught us, and what the Quran taught us in all his teachings. So that's how we should be living in that beautiful ethical life or ethical living, and that's what I'm seeing. The trends are increasing in the IT, as I mentioned, blockchain and other things, logistically, on so many services that I'm surprised to see every time that I'm traveling to big shows like in Malaysia, or big shows that I see things that I never thought that could be part of the halal ecosystem. But when I think about it, it does serve in some ways, and that's where halal is such a great industry. That people are now flocking into it and trying to take advantage of it and leverage from it, because whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim, because it's such a amazing and vibrant business that blessed and vibrant in the meantime.
So Brother Nasser, you mentioned a little bit about the halal ecosystem. So, how does the Halal Expo Canada contribute to fostering connections and collaborations within the halal ecosystem in a bit more depth?
I mean, I see it in a micro and a macro level. In a macro level, I see when a government decide to grow into different market, and they want to boost their companies, manufacturer companies, to in particular market like Canada. I see it in my own eyes how they come in and how the embassy get involved and how everybody gets involved to support that delegation coming to the show. Like we have the Indonesian, the Malaysia in the past. You probably a lot of you have seen them. They come and benefit and sign deals and sign contracts that foster the bilateral trades and the relationship between two countries. That's in a micro level. But in a micro level, I've seen companies that were in Canada, not talking about even overseas, but just in Canada alone. And I can share many stories. There are countless of stories that came to our show, started very small in the halal business. And now, when I come and visit them again, I see them, they expand into a big factory and a huge factory like Solma's, Trio Bakery, NMK Kebab. All these companies, they come to our show and they start small. But when they come into our show over the years, I see them grow and grow because we bring in the top companies like Metro Group and Loblaws and Farm Boys and Walmart and Costco, the big buyers coming to the show just to source halal product. And you know how difficult it is to connect to these people. But instead, we bring you to the show in your own booth, relax, and we bring those directors to you to source your product into their stores, not only in one location. But they take it to entire Canada or the eastern province, the eastern side of Canada, west side, and we see that happening. So in the macro, as I said, is the government when they're bringing their companies to come to a new market. We see that growing every year. And on the micro level, we see it with the small companies like the pop and mom kind of companies, but that start small. But when they come to the show and they just have to meet one big guy like from Metro or from Adonis or from those big names, and that's it. That's enough for him. Just one contract, two contracts a year, he's good to go. To have his product showcase on the shelf of these big mega stores or mega or mainstream supermarkets.
That's
I don't
excellent.
know if
So
this answer your question, but that's what I understood from the question.
it does, and it's great to hear about the different ecosystems and the different sources, and hearing about how the Halal Expo provides a channel and a great segue to expanding in the larger market. So, Brother Nasser, in your opinion, how do you foresee the future of the halal industry unfolding, especially in terms of innovation and sustainability?
I see that it's getting better and better every year. It's getting more regulated. It's getting more diverse than the traditional food mindset of people that think in halal it's only food. So I see that growth there. I see the regulation is getting better. I see it's more control. I see uh, government are getting more involved, whether they're Muslim government or non-Muslim. As I give you an example, Philippine stepped in because they feel like they left out from the game of halal market. So they decided that wow, we're losing out. They got great products in Philippines, more than 1,000 plus products of halal. But a lot of people don't know that. So now they decided the last 5 or 6 years, they've been working so hard internationally and locally to promote halal. And not only halal food, halal friendly Philippines as far as tourism. So a lot of people don't understand that yes, there is Malaysia, Indonesia, beautiful countries for Muslim to on Turkey, but you have to understand there are 15 million Muslims. So there are places where a Muslim family can spend a beautiful vacation in a modest, in a much relaxed setting, and a halal way in Philippines. And I wish I can, if I had the time, I could have had Undersecretary Myra to tell you about what's happening in Philippines, the Undersecretary of the Tourism, Department of Tourism of Philippines. She will tell you what they're doing to promote the halal-friendly tourism in the Philippines. So it's so many places, so many countries, so many government, private companies, and mega companies are getting into the halal. So I see a growth. I see regulation being set. I see a global intervention from like Jakim and Indonesia halal certification, getting into making sure that everything is standardized, everything is quality, and to the main objective which we work for and everybody works for, and I hope everybody will be with us in that, is to make halal as the ultimate brand for everyone, not only for Muslim but for everybody, because it's a good uh, lifestyle, it's ethical, and it's clean. So that's where what I see the trend, what I see the growth. And I I must say this is what I personally feel.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Brother Nasser, for sharing your insights with us today. It's been a pleasure having you on the show, and we look forward to seeing the exciting developments at the Halal Expo Canada this year, inshallah.
Thank you very much for hosting me, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the show because we just spoke to Brother Taha Ghayur, and we having you as again as one of the exclusive media partners, and we will see you at the show. Don't forget to visit halalexpocanada.com to get more information. And if you are at the uh, if you contact your channel, you get a free pass through your channel. Thank you.
Jazakallah, Brother Nasser. And thank you to our audience. Inshallah, the Halal Expo will be happening on May 8th to May 9th at the Toronto International Centre. So mark your calendars and drop by with your friends and families. On behalf of the team at Muslim Network TV, thank you and have a great evening. Assalamu alaikum.